We're gonna give you 5 strength training exercises that you can use for long distance running, and we're already starting. So this first exercise is going to be a sled pull backwards. Now, I know you distance runners out there, you're always gonna talk about aerobic threshold, anaerobic threshold, the things that you wanna focus on. I wanna train like Jakob Ingebrigtsen, I wanna train double threshold. But oftentimes you end up forgetting you have to do some type of strength training. And the reason being is that you have to have some type of structural integrity. And I would recommend, if you're doing something like this sled pull here and a sled push, just doing this once or twice a week. So if you establish that consistent training schedule, let's say you run 4 to 5 days a week, try to get in the gym at least once or twice a week, and you just have to focus on getting a little bit of that burn. So then you can conquer those hills at a higher pace, you can prevent injuries, and keep that mobility. Now I'm out of breath. So one of the big aspects that I learned in distance running when I ran the Philadelphia Marathon is that I tended to get really stiff in my lower back and a little bit through my glutes. I would lose quite a bit of mobility. And one exercise that I found to alleviate a lot of that stress and then in turn help me with driving up those hills when I was under a ton of fatigue is going to be the reverse hyper. And so this is gonna be a movement. We have it banded. You don't have to do that banded, but for us, we're gonna do it banded today. If I get on this, okay, I wanna think about filling my gut with air, okay? And I'm gonna round a little bit and then arch when I come up, but I wanna lengthen my hamstrings as much as possible, lengthen my glutes as much as possible, and my lower back. And then when I come back up, I wanna squeeze and try and arch just a little bit, okay? So I'm gonna go on here. Oh. You do like a set of 17 and you're gonna feel, I can already feel this crazy pump through my lower back and into my hips, okay, into my glutes as well. Think about hip extension at the top, and then this is gonna help you maintain that trunk control while you're out on those long runs. Okay, so the next 2 exercises, so really I think I'm gonna end up giving you around 7 movements instead of 5. But the next 2 I think are very key for runners. Oftentimes when you see runners, distance runners, they sort of hunch a little bit. They're really stiff in their upper back. And that's normal, especially if you're getting a lot of mileage, especially if you're doing a lot of that aerobic threshold training. So one thing that I recommend is, 1, we need to do some type of upper body work, but 2, we don't need to focus on a ton of hypertrophy work. We just need to get a little bit of activation. Okay, so we've got our mobility band here, available at garagestrength.com, and what we can do is just get into this position and almost use this as like a mobility exercise. Here, okay, try to rotate and press. Rotate, press. Okay, so we can do like 10 to 12 to each side. Let's say you do 1 set here with the mobility band, okay? Then you can drop that. And then let's say that you rest for like a minute and a half, and you can pick up dumbbells, and you can do the exact same thing here. You can just rotate, press, okay? Rotate, press, rotate, press. So now you're getting a little bit of ab work. I know you distance runners love doing core. And then afterwards, you can do this exercise, and I don't know why you guys like doing this, but you always do it whenever I see distance runners in the gym, and then go back and actually do a real exercise like this rotation and press, okay? You can do this for like 3 sets of 7 on each side. Okay, the next movement, I'm gonna show you 2 variations, okay? This is another exercise that we can use to strengthen our glutes, to strengthen our hamstrings, our lower back, and then increase our mobility in our shoulders. So, if I get set, I'm gonna get inside of our squat rack here, and of course, I'm gonna use a garage strength single leg roller. Now, I wanna hold the dumbbells here. I'm gonna come down, press, down, press, okay? And let's say we do 5 each leg. Boom, boom. I'm just gonna do 1 more there. Now, remember, I know I said earlier, get to the gym twice a week. So if we're gonna train as a distance runner and we get into the gym twice a week, maybe 3 days a week, what I recommend doing is 2 full body workouts and then an athlete day if we're gonna do 3 days a week. So the reason why I like doing the single leg roller into the press is because we're actually training a little bit of our upper body, a little bit of our legs, and a little bit of our abs as we're doing that movement. That's gonna help us when we're out running. Now, I'm gonna try to do this without dying. Here, boom, 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 okay? So you can do this with a barbell as well. Work on that thoracic extension. and your ab strength. And for some reason, last week I ran 50 miles, and this is getting me really out of breath, even though my mileage is really high. Okay, the last movement is something that's gonna open up your hips quite a bit. When I see marathoners or long distance runners, oftentimes if you see them, okay, they're doing squats sort of like this. They don't have the hip mobility or the ankle mobility sometimes to get really, really deep here, okay? So the last movement that we can use to really open up those hips is going to be a Cossack squat. Now, I'm gonna demonstrate this here where you can actually cheat and hold on here. Okay, so let's say we do like a set of 5 or a set of 7 to each side here. Okay, and you can just use this for that first set. So you can go back and forth. And if I really, really am struggling, just freaking hold on to the post. Now, as you warm up and as you get a little bit more mobile, you can do this without holding on to the post. Again, 3 sets of 7 to each side. That's gonna help you become a better distance runner. If you guys need help with your training, head over to peakstrength.app, the Google Play Store or the Apple iOS Store. You can get an entire program dedicated to long distance running, okay? You can go into Peak Strength and you can actually select that you wanna train for the marathon, and that's gonna help you become a freak distance runner. Because remember, freaks, if you wanna become a champion, you've always gotta cultivate your power. Peace.